Catfish farming should not be as stressful as so many people think it should be. I have heard so many untrue stories about catfish. Some people say that they borrowed millions of naira and put in catfish, and what happened is that everything just died and the whole fish, none of them survived. Well, I might not be there to collaborate their story or to know whether they are saying what they are saying is true or what they are saying is false. But what I do know is that catfish farming is not as hard as so many people and so many consultants put it to be. Now, I want to give you a general overview of how you can raise your catfish from fingerlings down to the table size and sell them and make profit out of it. One thing you need to avoid when you are starting your catfish business is to go into all the lines, that is going into all the value chain of catfish. And this is a mistake that so many people start out with, and at the end of the day they go ahead to lose the hard-earned money that they have already saved. See, why should you listen to me? You should listen to me because I have over 5 years experience in catfish farming. You should also listen to me because I have also failed in my agricultural business, and this is me telling you not to make the same mistakes that I have done before, but to put you in the right path in order for you to be able to start up your catfish business and start to do great business from day one of starting your catfish business. Now, let us jump into the overview of what you need to do if you want to start a successful catfish business. The first thing you need to do, as I said earlier, is to determine which aspect of the catfish you want to go into. Now, I am not saying which species of the catfish you want to go. I am saying which of the business of the catfish you want to go into. Do not start a catfish business by wanting to go into all the value chain. For instance, you want to build a hatchery, you want to build ponds or earthen ponds or concrete ponds like this one for your farm. You also want to build a smoking clan where you smoke the fish and sell them after harvest. The truth is, doing all these things, except you have serious money and serious management team that can be able to do this for you, it will end in tears. It will end in premium tears. You need to outline which aspect am I going to start. I'm not saying that you cannot do all these things in the farm. Well, in this farm, we have both the hatchery unit, we also have the smoking unit, and we also have the growers unit, which is the ponds that we have here. But we do not just start by having all these ones at a time. And even when we are not ready to have some of the units, we added it, and what happened to us? We failed, and we have to close down some of those units in order for us to survive and concentrate. Now, if you want to start your catfish business and you want to start it with hatchery, you want to raise hatch fish and then sell fingerlings, that's a different ball game. You know that what you need to do is to get a hatchery, and then you will now get farmers, successful farmers that you'll be selling fingerlings to. Now you ask me, why is it that I cannot have the hatchery? What if I have the hatchery and it is also a source of income for the farm when I'm starting out? The truth is this: when you want to, I always advise people to start up their farming business in batches. Let me off this water so that we can get quietness here. I always advise people that when they want to start up their business, that they should make sure that they have badges of their fish. Now look at what will happen if you want to start up a hatchery and also a grower at the same time. What normally happens is that you might go out and hatch fish, and when you hatch fish, let me say you get 10,000 of these fingerlings, and after getting 10,000 of these fingerlings, by your badging that you are supposed to do, maybe what you want to be putting every month is 2,000. That is your plan on the badges that I've already talked about. You can refer to my last video of the Fulani strategy. You will understand more of the badges that I'm talking about. But when you have this 10,000 and you cannot see customers, remember you are just starting out, You cannot see farmers that have trust you to buy fingerlings from you. See, to do fingerlings is easy. To get people that trust you to buy those your fingerlings is another thing. Because these farmers already, is just like fertilizer. Have you ever been to the rural community? If you are an agricultural extension, you understand what I'm saying. To get a farmer to change a product he's already used to is very hard. To turn a farmer's mind from buying fingerlings that he have been buying from a particular farm over a period of time, they have been giving him consistent result. For you to change the farmer's mind is another ball game. Now you have 10,000 fingerlings that you have produced, and your badging structure you want to do is 3,000 every month. Now you have 10,000 that nobody is buying. What do you think will happen? You are forced to keep another 10,000 fish that nobody wants from you. That have already affected the budget that you have for this other one. You now start spending a whole lot of money that you are not okay with. You have not budgeted for. These ones that you already have, the 3,000, you don't even have the market yet for it. Now you have another 10,000 stuck with you. What will happen? To take care of 1,000, just 1,000 catfish will cost you about 1.2 million. Now, if you have 3,000 already, it will cost you about 3.3 million naira. And now, when you now add another 10,000 fish, that is about 13 million plus 3. That is about 16 million within the space of 4 to 5 months. And what will happen? You go run away. You go run. And that is why so many people fail. And if this money is not your own, can you already see that you don't already get problem? You will get to a stage whereby you cannot feed this catfish again. Some of them will start dying, some will start losing weight. You become depressed, you have high blood pressure, you sell your land, and this is because you are trying to be greedy. Business is a marathon. If you do not get anything from this video today, just get this. Business is a marathon, not a sprint. It is not a 100-meter relay run. It is a marathon. Hey, you are starting this business because you want to do it for a long time, right? You want to even leave it for your children to continue, right? So why are you rushing it? Why are you trying to rush the process? Why are you trying to start everything at the same time? When I lost every investment, including other people's money that I lost in this farm, last year, I started around January again up in this farm. And I started very small. I bought only 100 chicken. I closed down the garri section. I closed down the hatchery unit of the farm. We no longer hatch catfish. I closed down the garri section. I closed down the goat section of the farm. The cow section was closed down. I have about 2 cows that was remaining. I gave it to, instead of keeping it in the ranch, I gave it to another farmer to help me rear the farm, to help me rear the cow, while I concentrate only on catfish and the chicken. Now, from the 100 chicken I started last year, I have been able to start growing, and now my badges number of the chicken is about 500 every 2 weeks. Now, what about the fish? We are doing about 2,000 to 3,000 every month. But we started with just 1,000. And then every month, as we are selling, as we are sorting, we are buying. So, what I'm trying to tell you is that it is a marathon. It is a marathon. The fact that I have many ponds here does not mean I have to stock all the ponds at the same time. The fact that the hatchery unit is already here does not mean I need to go and employ someone and to start to hatch fish now. The fact that the garri section, the machine is there, cassava is here, does not mean that I need to go and start putting cassava and processing garri again. It is a marathon. It is a marathon. The fact that the goat section is still there, I have access to goat, does not mean I need to do goats now. It is a marathon. So when starting your catfish business, What you should have in your mind is that business is a marathon and not a sprint. And if you are starting this business as a sprint, oga, you go wound o. Serious wounding na you go get. No matter how much you think you have, no matter how much you think you have made, you are in the diaspora, and when you change your money to naira, the money don boku everywhere. You fit buy 700 farmland. So many people have tried it, because when they change their money into Nigeria money, na big money, they go ahead to buy so many pieces of land. I'm not trying to divert from catfish, but when I'm talking about agriculture, I give you an overview. So many people will buy land. Land is an asset, is a real estate on its own. Fine. They buy 200 hectares of land in Ibadan. They buy it in Osun State. They buy it in Kano, wherever. They buy this land. But do you know the mistake they do? Their mistake is not buying the land. Their mistake is trying to utilize the whole land at the same time. Why will you, because you have 200 hectares of land, now say because I will now plant fruit for the whole 200 hectares of land? Na big business. Or I will do benefit in that place, or I will do maize in 200 hectares of land, when you never plant maize for 50 by 100 one plot before. It doesn't matter that you buy 200 hectares. You can buy 200 hectares, fine, but why not plant corn first in one hectare? 1 hectare is even too much for a starter. Why not plant in 100 by 100 corn, and let us see first how they go do it. So it's the same thing with catfish. You think you have so many money, you now start getting a consultant will come because he won't chop money from you. He go tell you, say, you need to get a dehydrator that will use it to smoke the catfish. Catfish where you never even start. They don't tell you smoker. You need to start small. Start small. Okay, so now, whenever you want to start any agricultural business, the truth is this: you need to start small. No matter how much you think you have, we call it the pilot stage. Everybody do it. Where I live in Nasarawa State, we have a farm, the biggest rice farm here in Africa, or let me say West Africa. Olam Farm. They are the owners of Mama Good Rice. When they started, I was there. Their rice farm was a pilot stage. They bought almost a whole community, but they farm only in a very small space. They called it a pilot stage. And these are people that had money, plenty money, but they started in a pilot stage. Today, what happened? They discovered that the Fulani men no go gree make their rice grow. They discovered that, imagine the security they had vigilante, they had soldiers there, police, but the Fulani herdsmen will always find a way in order to enter their rice. So what did? They outsource it. They outsource their rice to other parties. They did a tripartite arrangement between the Nigeria government, them, and the Nigeria farmers. They went to CBN, they got loan from CBN, and they told CBN to dispatch this loan using banks to the farmers directly. That is the Anchor Borrowers program that they did, that mostly failed. It failed because they didn't give the money actually to real farmers. But that's a story for another day. But they did a tripartite arrangement whereby CBN will now give loan to local farmers, and local farmers will farm the rice and give to them. Did it work? Yes, it did. Even though the Anchor Borrower program failed, but now the local community have stopped doing other crops. They have now concentrated on rice. Because of what? Because they have a giant company that buy off all the product. So now, if you have a small space that you are doing your rice, what you need to do is to go and protect your rice against herdsmen, so that herdsmen no go chop am. If you succeed, well, you are in money. If herdsmen chop am talk, your money don't go. But it is not the company's business. It is not Olam business. Now imagine that Olam, after buying almost the whole community, have rented back the land to the community to continue to farm for them. Imagine that Olam use their own money because they have money to broadcast rice in all that place. Shey they go still dey alive reach now? For where? By now they will have shut down that farm. So when you are starting your catfish business, remember it is a marathon and not a sprint. Okay, so I did not want this video to go so long, but because I always put in emotion when I'm talking about this agribusiness, because I have failed and I don't want you to fail. I don't want you to fail the way I have done. I want you to learn with my mistake and then build, because we cannot fail now. Money hard to get. If we continue to fail, the future of food in Nigeria and in Africa will be in a mess. So I wanted this video to be short. I think I have diverted a little bit from what I had in mind saying in this video. So I'm going to do another video. And in another video, I'm going to talk about how you can raise this your catfish successfully from fingerlings. I'm not saying from hatching them. Successfully from fingerlings, and they will give you weight within 3 months. The last catfish I sold in this farm was in December 21. And they were just 3 months old, and I sold them at table size. I'm going to talk about how we are able to do that, and you are going to learn a whole lot from that. So until I come your way next time, my name is Odis Simeon, the farmer, and I love you. One love.